Hello and welcome. So today we're going to talk about a word you probably think you know inside and out, curriculum. But we're not talking about schoolwork or lesson plans. We're going way, way back to the very beginning to figure out what curriculum means for our tiniest learners, infants and toddlers. Right? It's a great question. The word curriculum just makes you think of flashcards, ABCs, and schedules. But for a baby who's just figuring out how their own hands work, what could that possibly look like? Well, as we're about to see, the answer is way simpler and honestly a lot more beautiful than you might think. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to completely rethink what curriculum means for this age group. Then, we'll see how it's all built on relationships. We'll get into the fascinating ways infants actually learn, find out where this learning happens, and wrap it all up with the most powerful tool you have in your toolkit, observation. All right, first things first, we have to clear the slate. Forget everything you associate with traditional school. For infants and toddlers, curriculum has zero to do with academics or trying to cram facts into their brains. It's a whole different world. This right here, this is the core idea of everything we're talking about today. The curriculum isn't something you do to a child. The care you give is the curriculum. It's in every single interaction, every feeding, every diaper change, every hug, every game of peekaboo. The way we respond to them is literally building their brains and teaching them how the world works. And that leads us perfectly to this next point. You see, if the care is the curriculum, then relationships are, well, they're everything else. They're the classroom, the teacher, and the textbook all rolled into one. Every single thing a child learns in these first few years grows out of that emotional and social foundation. And where does that foundation start? With family. No one has more influence than family. They're the child's very first and most important teachers, not by teaching them things, but just by knowing them and loving them. This is the absolute bedrock of their world. You can think of it like a home base in a game of tag. A child who feels safe, secure, and loved has the confidence to go out and be curious. That relationship is their safe spot. It's what gives them the courage to crawl away, to touch something new, to explore, because they know they always have a safe person to come back to. And this link between feelings and learning is just so critical. For a baby, learning isn't some dry intellectual thing. It's totally emotional. That pure joy they feel when they finally manage to stack one block on another, that's a powerful signal to their brain that says, hey, that was awesome. Let's do that again. Okay, so we know that learning is all about relationships and emotions, but how does it actually work? I mean, the way a baby's brain soaks up information is just fundamentally different from how our adult brains work. Our source material really breaks it down into these 4 key things. First, babies have their own internal to-do list for learning. Second, they learn holistically. They don't see the world in neat little subjects like math or art. Third, their development follows a path, from needing security to wanting to explore to figuring out who they are. And finally, and this one is huge, they learn who they are based on how we treat them. This idea of holistic learning is so cool. Think about a baby splashing in the bathtub. They're not thinking, now I'm learning about physics. Now I'm learning about temperature. No way. They're learning about the splash, the warmth of the water, the feel of their own body moving, and the sound of your laughter, all at the exact same time. It's one big, messy, wonderful lesson. I mean, just imagine this. An adult puts out some blue shaving cream and thinks, great, we're going to learn the color blue today. But the child is having this incredible sensory experience. They're learning about the squishy texture, how it feels on their skin, the way they can make marks. The adult's tiny goal of learning a color doesn't even come close to the rich, holistic discovery the child is actually making. And you can see their personal learning agenda unfold over time. Right at the beginning, a baby's whole world is about security. The big questions are, am I safe? Is someone here for me? Once that's solid and they start moving around, the focus shifts to exploration. What is all this stuff? What happens if I touch it? And then you hit the toddler years and it's all about identity. Who am I? What's mine? So we figured out the what and the how, but where does this curriculum actually take place? Is it in a special learning corner? Do you need specific toys? Nope. The answer is, it's happening everywhere, all the time. It really happens in 3 main areas. In the environment you create for them to play in the little back and forth interactions and conversations you have, and this is the one we often overlook, in all those everyday caregiving routines. I love this shift in perspective. As a caregiver, your job is to be thoughtful and intentional about setting up a safe and interesting space. But from the baby's point of view, that same space is just this amazing world of possibilities, a wide open invitation to go explore and figure things out on their own terms. And this is just a total game changer. A diaper change isn't just some chore you have to get through. It is prime time for connection. It's a chance for eye contact, for talking, for singing. It's an opportunity to turn a simple, must-do task into a powerful moment of relationship building. Routines are curriculum. It's that simple. Which brings us to our final and maybe the most important piece of this whole puzzle. If the curriculum is all about being responsive, and every single child is on their own unique learning path, how do you know what to do? How do you know how to respond? The answer is, you watch them. The Program for Infant/Toddler Care, or PITC, has this wonderfully simple but incredibly powerful framework for this. It's a 3-step cycle that helps us be more thoughtful in every single interaction, and it's called Watch, Ask, Adapt.
Step 1 is just to watch, but this isn't passive zone-out watching. This is active, mindful observation. You're like a detective. What's their body language saying? Where are their eyes focused? What little sounds are they making? You're just gathering clues about what's happening in their world at this very moment.
Step 2 is to ask. Now, you're not usually asking the baby out loud. You're asking yourself. You're getting curious. I wonder why she keeps tapping that toy. Or, what's his goal right now? What is he trying to do by reaching for that? It's all about trying to see the world through their eyes. And finally, based on what you saw and what you wondered, you adapt. You offer a response. Maybe you just narrate what they're doing. You're working so hard to reach that ball. Maybe you move the ball a tiny bit closer. Or maybe you just give a warm smile to let them know you're there. Your response is perfectly tailored to them in that moment to support whatever it is they're trying to do. Okay, so let's just pull all these big ideas together. For infants and toddlers, curriculum isn't about teaching subjects. It's about responsive, loving care. That care is built on a foundation of strong, secure relationships. Their learning is holistic. It happens all at once, and it's embedded in everyday routines. And the key that unlocks it all, it's that mindful, responsive observation. So, I'm going to leave you with this one thought to take with you. The next time you're helping a toddler put on their shoes or feeding a baby, how can you shift your perspective and see it not as just another routine, but as the curriculum? Because when you do that, the potential in that simple, everyday moment becomes absolutely limitless. Thanks for tuning in.